Have you ever walked through the woods at midnight and felt like something is watching you? I've never been one to believe in the supernatural. Ghosts, monsters, all that stuff. Just fairy tales, right? But something happened to me last summer that I can't explain, and it still sends shivers down my spine. It was late August, and I was staying at my family's cabin in the woods for a weekend getaway. The place is pretty isolated. No cell service, no internet, just a small generator for electricity. It's always been my little escape from the chaos of city life. On my first night there, I decided to take a walk through the woods. It was around 10 p.m. The air was cool and the forest was eerily silent except for the occasional rustle of leaves. I've walked that trail hundreds of times, but that night something felt off. I kept hearing faint footsteps behind me, but every time I turned around, there was nothing. I brushed it off as paranoia and kept walking, but the feeling of being watched didn't go away. About 15 minutes in, I saw a flicker of light in the distance, deep in the woods. I knew there were no other cabins nearby, and the light was too steady to be fireflies. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to check it out. As I got closer, the light grew brighter, and I could make out the outline of an old, abandoned house that I had never seen before. The house looked like it had been there for decades, maybe even a century, its wooden structure barely holding together. The light was coming from a single window on the second floor. I know it sounds stupid, but something compelled me to go inside. I had a flashlight with me, so I cautiously stepped through the creaky door. The air inside was musty, filled with the scent of decay. The floorboards groaned under my weight as I made my way to the staircase. The light was still shining upstairs, casting eerie shadows across the walls. When I reached the top of the stairs, I saw the door to the lit room slightly ajar. I took a deep breath and pushed it open. Inside was a small, dusty room with a single candle burning on an old wooden table. Next to the candle was a tattered journal. I picked it up and started flipping through the pages. It was filled with entries dating back to the early 1900s, written in a shaky hand. The entries spoke of strange rituals, dark figures in the woods, and something called the Watcher. As I read, a chill ran down my spine. I suddenly felt like I wasn't alone. I turned around and saw a figure standing in the doorway. It was a man, or at least it used to be. His clothes were old-fashioned, torn and covered in dirt. His eyes were hollow, and his face was twisted into a grotesque smile. He just stood there, staring at me. I dropped the journal and bolted down the stairs, not daring to look back. I ran through the woods, branches slapping my face, until I reached the cabin. I locked the door and spent the rest of the night wide awake, clutching a kitchen knife. The next morning, I packed up and left as fast as I could. I've never gone back, and I don't plan to. Sometimes when I'm alone at night, I still feel those hollow eyes watching me. I don't know what I saw in that house, but I know one thing for sure. Some doors should never be opened. What would you have done in my situation? What do you think that man-like figure was?